guys, welcome back to That Old Time Religion. Let's see what we should investigate this time. Let's go ahead and check out Reverend Kellerman's church. There's just something about blondes. Mary Carmichael had that peaches and cream complexion here would been going on and on about long wavy hair that floated around her face as she bent down over her desk looking at some paperwork. A figure that went at a few degrees shy of a plump in every perfect way you might hope to find in a farmer's daughter on a cold and rainy night out in the middle of the sticks. This was not the kind of woman I expected to be working as a church secretary, but I always welcome pleasant surprises, and my life is entirely too full of the other kind these days. I'm sorry, Mr. Jenkins, but the last appointment I have on record for the Reverend was with his daughter Rachel. She was supposed to meet him at 7:30 p.m. here to discuss some matters of their estate, and then they went over to go out to dinner. It was well past my normal quitting time, so I wasn't here when she paused and tears started to well up in her robin egg blue eyes as she looked at me. I'm so sorry, I just can't imagine what anyone would do this to him. He's such a kind and giving man, so full of the Spirit of the Lord. She fingered her rather ostentatious gold and diamonds crossed with worry. I moved past her to the Kellermans in our office, which was an absolute wreck. The two flatfoots who let me into the place were hovering over by the other door, mostly enjoying the view of Mary Carmichael. Neither had the look of the future detectives about them. I looked around at the scene and I immediately figured a few things out. Someone either wanted to make this look particularly violent or just really didn't care what got messed up when they came for Reverend Paul Kellerman. Despite the mess, though, there was no sign of blood. Either someone did a fine clean-up job or the preacher didn't put up much of a fight. The place had been dusted for prints, of course, but as many folks as came and went through here, that didn't seem likely to turn out much. As I continued to slowly wander around his office, I asked Miss Mary, did the Reverend have any enemies, ma'am? Was he in any kind of feud or quarrel you know about? Tell you, Mr. Jenkins, Paul was with the Lord. He truly loved all his brothers and sisters in Christ. I began to differently from her look in her eyes as she talked about him, that perhaps she wanted to know more of that love than most. But what I heard, however, that man had been utterly faithful to his wife even after she died. It was so much Carmichael. Men like the Reverend could stir up people who don't necessarily believe in what he does, right? I gave her a steady, reassuring gaze, wanting her to believe I really was here to help. Apparently, I passed some kind of test because she glanced nervously to donate eaters before making her way conspiratorially overdo me. In a much quieter voice, she said, well, now he did have some real concerns about that new fellow with the tent revival that recently arrived in town. The what they call Brother Gospel Divine. The very one Mr. Jenkins, their one and only meeting, did not go well at all, I had sad to say. Brother Divine, we think the Reverend's overly tolerant nature towards the other religious groups was a sure sign that the apocalypse would begin right here in New Orleans. The very idea. She looked genuinely outraged, clearly remembering the incident. This dame had it bad for the Reverend, no, it's certain. Is there anything else you could think of, ma'am? Anything at all? Well, I don't like to start rumors, Mr. Jenkins. Mary's life is clearly in danger. They're not rumors, if there are clues that can use to save him. She seemed to grasp at that, her eyes got wide and narrow. Well, Mr. Jenkins, it's just I kept not noticing how that the Gospel Divine and Paul's daughter Rachel kept looking at each other. It seemed pretty certain to me that they knew each other from somewhere, and there were a lot more going on than the Reverend knew. I had meant to warn him, but it's just not that easy to bring a thing up like that, you understand? I nodded, thinking Miss Carmichael had been very helpful. Just as I turned to leave, I noticed two coffee mugs on the desk, one which seemed likely to be the Reverend's from where it was laid on the side, and a strange stain on the bottom. I grabbed it, took a sniff of the scraped some of the residue, put it in a small metal vial I keep for such occasions. Another, mostly still full of coffee, had lipstick on it, and the lipstick just so happened to match the lipstick worn by the Reverend's daughter, Rachel Kellerman. I took the stuff I scraped out of the Reverend's mug, which a friend of mine's shop, Doug Carver, has got all the science learning I could ask for. And fortunately, he got around to forgiving me for the last time I involved him in a case. He checked it out, and sure enough, my hunch was right. Poison, the kind that man puts a man out for hours. Time to look into other matters. Okay, so I guess we don't have a choice but to check the streets now, okay? There are plenty of fine, safe places in New Orleans, the kinds of places folks go to have the nice dinner, hear some great music, and enjoy the beauty of the city. Those aren't the kinds of places that go on days like this. Seedy dive bars, old dog signs with rotted wood and rotted fish, back alleyways that get the wrong people robbed or dead. These are the places I wander when I need to get a feel for what's happening in the city. These are the places I haunt like a gray-suited ghost. Fortunately, Rabbi Coach's check was good. It had plenty of grain to spread where I needed to. I soon figured out a few interesting things. For one, the streets were a lot less crowded with the bums than the down and out. It seemed like the Gospel Divine's revival was offering food, work, and more to anyone who wanted to come out, hear the word, to pitch in. Desperate folks can find an awful lot of religion in their bones when there's a hot bowl of soup and a couple of dollars in it for them. What disturbed me more by far was the tales of the very large men in black suits, black shirts, no ties, and strange brands on their foreheads. Apparently they never spoke, instead just standing around and watching other folks intently. From what I could put together, they seemed mostly focused on folks who had gone to see Gospel Divine, but didn't sign on to his cause or donate any money. When the local constables got around asking some of these guerrillas about their visits, apparently the only thing they said was, "We are here to bear witness." It was a sounding more and more like a confidence game with a shakedown and level element. I was hoping that was all it was, but a man you don't usually take a brand on his forehead just to scare money out of folks. I was beginning to think these witnesses were going to be real trouble. Let's visit the Mama Mountain real quick. You got yourself in a mess again, child. Cocoa skin and smoke and silk voice with that krill spice made my spine tingle every time. Mama Bonte and I had something. There was no point in defining it or making it more than what it was. We simply understood each other as a part of the city most folks didn't even know what to think about. And we helped each other as best as we could. There are worse ways to conduct a relationship. I think I can blame you a bit for this one, sweetness. I gave her a challenging look. She just laughed. Fair enough, Mr. Jenkins, fair enough. You've been bought to kill. Gonna probably be helpful this time around, too. That'd be bad mojo. I'll work, no mistake. That Gospel Divine don't bring you the Lord to New Orleans. He brought you the devil. It gonna get real ugly real soon if you don't figure out how to deal with them. I don't suppose you got any ideas about that, do you? I really hated dealing with magic and monsters, and yeah, it seemed like I was somehow linked to them every time I turned around. I was pretty sure I had my grandmother to blame for that. Or was it say grandfather? I didn't really read that. Anyway, me and Daddy Thunder have been looking into it. You can give me something I can work with, child. Maybe be able to help you. Man like Gospel, he got to be messing with powers. He don't quite understand. That usually means talismans and such. Give me something like that, I think I can work you up. I wouldn't handle things, maybe. I didn't like the words maybe, especially not with my continued breathing hug on it. Okay, let's go ahead while we're here to show her the medallions we found. Well, now, Mr. Jenkins is be real interested. Talismans they are. Somebody be using them to make men into something else. Strong, tough, and very loyal to whoever be working the mojo. Mama Bonte was studying the trinkets and brought her very carefully. It was clear she was more than a little concerned about what she was seeing. In fact, she looked downright angry. This was like some very bad black magic. I didn't see more than was Harvey. Very bad. Make a person into a thing, take away their life forever. Even after you take this off them, they ain't ever going to be the same again. It goes to what they was, with no hope and no path. Most of them will just find a way to end their life because they don't see no light without the one who made them like this in the first place. I agree with that. I let those guys wake up and go look for a way to die. Still, not a whole lot I can do about that now. So how do I deal with this, Mama? How do you feel? How do you fight this kind of monster? She looked at me in a moment of real concern passed through those deep black eyes. However, you try not to deal with it if you can help it. I saw the protest and she held my hand. But I know you, Emma, you gonna finish what you start. Keep one of these. It may help you get to anything with some of them again. In the meantime, I'll look into what I can do to give you something stronger. Gotta need time, though, so I'm trying not to get killed before I get done. That was fine advice by me. I'm rather fond of not getting killed at all, frankly. I died once. It wasn't a habit I wanted to get into. I'll get finally go see Rachel Kellerman again. It looked like I was going to get my second interview with Rachel Kellerman. In front of the doors must have went open, half of the hinges. Two uniforms lying dead on the stoop. One's neck was broken, the other's face was smashed in. I could still smell the gunpowder that got shots off. Apparently, it hadn't mattered much. I pulled my 38 out anyway. Went inside Rachel's place, looking down the hall. I could see the wide open back door, and the other two cops are also mingled up. The place was a trash mess, and the power was out. I lit a candle and started looking around some more, hoping against hope I might find someone still breathing there. I found him in a massive form of hollow blank. His back had been broken like a twig. His eyes were bulging from excruciating pain, and blood was pouring out of him from places it shouldn't. His gun, clearly empty, lay nearby. It looked like he was friendly with that same cigar with his one hand. The other was obviously paralyzed along with most of his body. He eyed me warily at first, but when he realized who it was, he gave me a slight, wheezy chuckle that I erupted into a spasm of painful coughing. I knelt down next to him and looked at him eye to eye. We both knew he wasn't going to make it. Hey, Harvey, back to see if you could score with that sweet frail. Jesus, hell, what the hell happened? As I asked, I took the cigar and lit it for him and stuck it in his mouth. I hated that guy, but this was an awful way to go, and he deserved at least a last smoke at least. He held deeply, coughed some more blood up. I was afraid I was going to lose him before he could tell me what happened. He looked at me with something that approached regret. Never been any good, Jenkins, we both know that, but you gotta know I tried to fight those little boxes off. I nodded and wanted him to continue. Divine hired me specific to watch after her. He said he had a particular care for her, wanted to make sure he had her eyes on her all the time. All I had to do was report back to him about anything that happened or anyone she talked to. He looked away from him, but I knew that meant me too. Paycheck's a paycheck, Hal, no hard feelings. I actually meant it too. He was in enough pain. So tell me how this happened to you. He actually looked back at me with gratitude in his eyes and took another drag of the cigar. After some more coffee, he went on. I could tell I was losing him, though, as he got that ashen pale look in his face. These giant boots came busted into place, screaming something about burying witness or something. They tore through their flat foots like there was nothing, and I emptied my piece into the first one in the room. He staggered and fell back, but didn't fall. He didn't fall, Harvey. He clutched at my jacket, desperation in his eyes. What kind of muscle doesn't fall when you shoot it like that? I couldn't answer him. There were too many in the world like that, to be sure. He started to fade away, eyes closing slowly as he took another deep puff on the cigar. Then grabbed the dang line, tried to find him. I grabbed her back, one picked me up, and poked me across the knee, and I was kindling. Then you shut up. He smiled slightly. At least I got to go out like a hero for a change. That was the end of how blank I was thinking of writing a letter to his family when I heard their heart, heavy breathing, and the heavier footsteps. You have come to bear witness. Alright, let's do the medallion. As the witness closed it, I scrambled to my grandma pistol out of the shoulder holster. Yeah, I done move really since Hal just died, telling me how little good shooting would do. My hand brushed up against the medallion. I'm about to insist I keep my last encounter with these guys. I wasn't real sure how it was going to be really used, but I was quickly weighing up options. I struggled fully up to my feet and put my back against the wall even as it kept coming. I yanked the medallion out, held it in front of me, displaying it for them to see the flickering candlelight. Thankfully, it got their attention. They stopped and stared at it, almost like children watching a magic trick being performed. I wasn't sure what to do next, though my sudden moment of hope expired as they growled in unison. They started forward again. We have come to bear witness. For some strange reason, I thought of my mother. It occurred to me how completely offended she'd be by these guys looking all religious while they do these kind of savage murder that even you think of the Spanish Inquisition. I couldn't honestly tell you why I did what I did next. Maybe it was a memory of my mother made me think of it. Maybe I was divinely inspired. Maybe I was just too desperate to think of anything else. I started reciting the Lord's Prayer. Our Father. They stopped the winds ground again, the noise with the grown warm, who art in heaven. They staggered back almost in unison. Whispers of pain came from each of them, and their hands moved up to cover their ears. Hallowed by thy name. They started to scream, each one jumping to their knees, blood began to pour from their mouths, turning their screams to gurgling, choking sounds. I kept intoning the prayer, hoping medically that I wouldn't forget part of it. I didn't. In another few moments, it was beyond certain that they were dead. As I spoke the final amen, the medallion suddenly went up in a fiery flash. I dropped it, but with the ashes floating to the floor by the time I fully let go. Stunned, I stepped over their bodies and made my way outside again. There was Mama Bonte standing in front of the lawn, grinning, a shotgun in her arms. I told her to use a medallion to find him. She looked me up and down. I got another one for you. This will be special. Daddy Thunder handmade it. I made it a solid, make it a solid charm. He and the others were working a circle to try to protect the city because it seemed gospel divine. Got me very black magic tonight. You best be going, child. This whole city got me a mess. With a deep kiss, she gave me the medallion, which apparently was some kind of oils on it. They also marked out with a bunch of other symbols. I slipped it over my hand, and she handed me the shotgun and a box of shells. You want a real good time like this, honey. I pulled up to the gate of the place. I immediately knew something was wrong. It might have been something to do with the way the two witnesses were standing in front of, right of the way, staring holes through me. It could have something to do with the way a sudden storm seemed to really run over our heads. It might even be the strange discordance between what sounded like a very strange Bible hymns. A screaming woman. Well, I was fairly certain, however, it had a lot to do with the way that Amelia Ramanek was practically sorry about that, guys. Was practically buzzing from vibration and glowing straight through my shirt. Even as the bruises held their hands up to stop me, I hit the gas hard and ran right through them. As strong as the toughness they weren't going up to a couple tons of Detroit steel being pushed by a motor that once belonged to a police cruiser. Of course, my car wasn't much effort running through human brick walls either. Fixing that grill was going up my expense report. I leaped down, shotgun in hand. One of the monsters was already getting back up. The medallion seemed to flash a little as I rushed around and I fired around. The witness screamed in agony and felt that as I blew a hole in him. The hole was bigger than I expected, even for a shotgun. Thank you, Denny Thunderhead. Suddenly thinking about my Monday for having the assist to get a real shotgun and a breech-load double barrel, I ratcheted another round I made for the big tent. The show was in there, whatever it was. As I got closer, I could hear Brother Gospel Divine's voice ringing out with the chants of the songs and even the screaming. For his brothers and sisters of Christ, the time has come at last. As I promise you, Revelation is at hand, Judgment Day is upon us, and we are the faithful army that the Lord has called to fight for this earth. Here at the heart of the sin itself, we will rise up and wash away the stains of greedy, sodomy, and unrighteousness with the blood of those who have turned away from God. Can I get a hallelujah? The crowd screamed in unison, hallelujah. The two more witnesses came at me from the side in rapid succession. I put them down and then left, made 2 shots, which I used 2 more running down from the other side. I quickly reloaded as I made my way to the side of the tent. I could tell some folks had heard the shots. Mumbles and muttering started to emanate from the crowd within. Brother Divine didn't want to lose his audience, though. See, already the meetings of Satanists couldn't disrupt our work. Fear not, brothers and sisters. My witnesses will stand as a wall between them and what we do here. Not so much gospel I muttered as I squatted down and yanked on the spikes, holding the tent down where I was, and then rolled up under it into the tent. When I saw before me stopped me in my tracks, there in the center of the tent, up on the raised platform, Gospel Demonic strolled out, bowed, and addressed the crowd in the bleachers. He was still in his dazzling white suit, gesturing with his cane only. It was no longer a cane. Turns out it was one of those fancy cane swords, and he had drawn out the blade. There were 2 metal arches with straps, one on each of the end of the platform. Trussed up, one was the Reverend Paul Kellerman. On the other, the source of the screaming was his daughter, Rachel. Gospel, why are you doing this to me? She pleaded, tears running down her face. I believed in you, supported you. For God's sake, I could deliver my father to you. He smiled benefitically. I don't know. In fact, you did, lovely Rachel. In fact, you did as any succubus from hell by a misguided attempt of curing flavor with an angel of the Lord. It was not, though. Lord God has always demanded great sacrifices to work his wrath upon the world. Today, I stand before my brothers and sisters. He's appointed angel, and I am ready to unleash his mighty anger upon this sinful city. Even as he spoke the words, and the crowd erupted with great cheers, I found myself dizzily by not one, but 2 after images that were playing over him. One was a glowing white angelic form with huge broad wings. If that was what the folks were seeing, no wonder that he had them all eaten out of the palm of his hand. The other, which was actually a little more pronounced for me as I touched the amulet, was an inky black figure with cold white eyes. It seemed almost covered about as he continued pacing the stage, anticipating the carnage to come. He seemed particularly interested in Rachel. Every time I got near the Reverend, he was calmly praying with his eyes closed, and had been since I came into the tent. That figure seemed almost recoil. When it got close to Rachel again, it seemed to grow slightly. That's when I realized how I was seeing. It seemed like it was somehow feeding off her. With every shriek of horror, it seemed to laugh and to grow stronger. This thing was feeding off her fear. That's when I noticed the swirling shadows up in the tent. Dozens, no hundreds of inky black creatures swarming up there, hovering as though they were waiting for something. They all looked hungry. My eyes went down to the crowd in the bleachers, all caught up in the gospel's mesmerizing spell, and it finally hit me. He was going to put one of those things in each and every person here. They were all going to become part of his own personal army of demon hosts. Even as I figured this out, a shout came from the stands near me. Some of the crowds had noticed me, as had some of the witnesses near the close exit. So the dark figure, Gospel Divine, I was going to have to do something before, and the whole place came down on me. Gospel, he's the key. Take him down, it's all over. No, I gotta get the killer mints out of those things, bruh. They're the good ones. I broke into the dead realm before anyone could move, headed straight for the platform. My screams and shouts of anger erupted all around me, but my focus was on the killer mints. Gospel screamed out, Satan has sent his servant among us. Eternal salvation and glory to anyone who slays this man. 2 weeks just in front of me in 2 rows of bleacher. In front of the bleacher, I was just passing. I clocked one with the butt of the shotgun and then had to headbutt the other as he tried to wrap his arms around me. More were coming. I knew it wouldn't be long before they could just pile up on me and it would all be over. I pointed the shotgun up in the air and pulled up the trigger with a thundering boom. It tore a hole in the top of the tent. They seemed to take the piss and vinegar out of the mob, at least for the moment, but now I have more witnesses bearing down on me. They were all yelling over and over, "We shall bear witness." It was more than a little unnerving. Whatever gospel had been waiting for was clear. He decided it was time to act. He moved with the purpose over the Rachel, brandishing his cane sword as he did, staring, screaming even more intensely, which seemed to really make the shadow thing riding on him even happier and larger. I busted the guns out of the nearest witness in front of me, swerved to the left, around the one behind him, and shot in the back of the head. As I finally hit the stairs on Rachel's side of the platform, Devin Knox glared at me with pure hate as he did his shadow self. The radiant angel, imagining, was just still flapping his wings and looking glorious, seemingly oblivious of the other chaos going on. Dimly, I was aware of the cops rushing to the tent from the main entrances. Shots were being fired, panicking screams grew to volume, and people were flowing everywhere like some crazy fruit drink in a mixer. I was guessing the men who hired me had convinced the police to get down here, or perhaps Mama Bate called them. Either way, they weren't going to be any help to me in a few moments. Mr. Jenkins, you said in the way of a war that you cannot hope to stop. This role is the main artist many years ago, and we will claim it. Still full of the charm and power, Gospel's voice had a different tone as he faced me, backing away and edging over ever closer to Reverend Kellerman. A man like you are mere noises, nothing more. I offered you a chance to join me and finally claim the power you just only brushed against. You still can't, Harvey Jenkins. You could know power like you never did have dreamed of. I just smiled at him. I dreamed about a double shot of Kentucky's finest, a cold beer chaser, and a steak dinner at the Bourbon's house. Think that's where I'll go when this is all over. I lowered my shotgun at him, screaming, "No!" He lunged at the Reverend, clearly intending to run that blade into his heart at the last moment. Instinct took over, and I shifted my aim. I just squeezed at the trigger. A massive slug ran right into the junction where Paul Kellerman's hands were tied and went flying backwards. The whole archway collapsed, taking him to the floor at the tent. Gospel lost its balance as it fell after him, but his blade slipped on his hand and clattered to the platform. I just thundered another shriek for Rachel, time to see Brother James coming at her with a wicked-looking curved knife. The gospel will be heard, he shuddered as he raised up his hand, and I pointed and fired. Rachel was still screaming, of course. Genteel southern women tend to do that when they covered a man's guts in blood. I looked back on time to see Gospel running like a madman for the side of the tent. Cops fired round after round on him, but that black demon thing apparently gave him plenty of protection. He plowed through the canvas and disappeared into the full-blown storm that erupted outside. Rain poured down in buckets, but I didn't care as I wandered out into the night. There was enough rain in the heavens to wash all the blood out of the last few days, but it was a start. Reverend Paul Kellerman and his daughter Rachel hugged each other fiercely as cops took them to a nice big car. He waved at me and smiled, and she even passed me a grateful look before burying her face back into his shoulders, the one that wasn't broken. He made me a promise to come by and see me in a couple of days. I figured I would, kind of owed it to him since I've been the one who caused his other shoulder to be broken. He probably also needed to know some kind of things to discover about his daughter and her part in all of this. I just hoped he wouldn't try to talk me to come into church. I answered a few questions for the cops, but they were going to want a lot more answers in the days to come. Fortunately for me, the mayor's sister was among Gospel's congregation, and she wanted to clear things up quickly and quietly as possible. Between that and the mayor's gratitude for saving the sister's life, I got a pass tonight. I didn't have to go to the station. I was tired, more than tired I think I've been since Vince Gigante killed me. I opened my car door, tossed the shotgun in the back, and sat down in the driver's seat. Then I reached up to my neck and pulled off the ambulance. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I found myself hoping Mama Bonte and Daddy Thunderhand didn't want it back. After all, Gospel Devin Knox was out there somewhere, and I was pretty certain I had not seen the last of him. This was thought for tomorrow. For tonight, it was time to see a rabbi about a bonus. Maybe he'd like to join me for a steak, too. If you want to check out the role-playing game, just hop over to the Pinnacle Entertainment's website. If you want to play RPG and digital tabletop experience with others, check out Fantasy Grounds. Yeah, completed this episode. Okay, cool. That's all for now. For you guys who don't know, there's only 2 episodes. So I don't think there's ever going to be another episode because I believe the last on the forums on this game on Steam, all like before I posted asking about the links for it, everything was like from 2015, like around this time, August and all that 2015. So I doubt there's going to be an episode 3. So yeah, they probably just wanted to get this game out and have time to put the episode 2 in it, and they just wanted to I don't know, I guess they just want to get this game out as fast as possible. So like with the first half, and just added the rest of it as a second episode or something. I don't know. But guys, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.